Welcome back to another segment of Credit M Magic 36. Hope everybody's doing good out there today. And I want to just kind of recap on my last video. Very powerful video, very informative video. Invite you to go and take a look at it. So on there, I talked about how you got to go and clean up your personal information. You need to have one name, one address. If you have a P.O. box or whatever, that's fine too, but just need to have one address on there, one name. It may be okay to put your first, middle, and last name so that you don't get variations of your name, because that can be a problem. Get all the phone numbers cleaned up, so on and so forth. That's important. And then the next thing is freezing the secondary bureaus, like ARS, Innovis, LexisNexis, LCI. There's a total of 360 of them, but there's about 6 to 8 of them that's pretty common. They share information even though they're not supposed to. So cleaning up the personal information, and then freezing the secondary reporting agencies, and then beginning to just dispute inaccuracies, right? And then applying consumer law. That's what it boils down to. So I went over 2 laws, 15 USC 1681B, permissible purpose. Talked about the stipulations. There's 2 stipulations. The first one is before they furnish an account, they have to notify you, right? And they have to receive your written instructions. They're violating this all day, every day, because you have to give them written instructions, or you have to give them permission. You have to give them consent, either in writing or by electronic form. Then the second thing is, and the law changed, it was upgraded last November, the end of November 30th, I think, of 2022, if I remember correctly. They have to have, court jurisdiction, an order from a judge. So without these 2 things, technically, they're not supposed to be able to furnish your information or furnish the account in their terminology. And then the other law that I covered was 15 USC 6801. So your information, like your address, your date of birth, your social, your phone number, your email, it's supposed to be protected. It's supposed to be private. It's supposed to be confidential. It's supposed to be secure. But these people, think that they're us and they're acting like us, but it's really aggravated identity theft. You know what I'm saying? 18 USC 1028A. But if you're not aware of this, if you don't study this every day and you don't believe it, you're never going to move in it and hold them accountable, because nobody's holding them accountable. They're getting slaps on the wrist. They're getting the eyes turned away from them. But if you learn this information and you get fed up, you get tired of being tired, and you go apply pressure, yeah, it may take 1 round, it may take 2 rounds, it may take 3 rounds. Be willing to invest 6 months to 9 months and beyond, so that you can have a better quality of life and you can enjoy more of your money now. Because as long as you're paying interest, because you have negative marks on your credit report, you're not going to advance anyways. So it's best to study to show yourself approved. I'm strong and firm on the basics and the fundamentals. You need to learn this stuff yourself. You know what I'm saying? Restore your family's credit, and then go outside of your household to your other family members, and then begin to teach it to your friends, help your friends. The more you do it, the better you get, the better results you'll get, so on and so forth. You can help other people, not just yourself, but others live a higher quality of lifestyle. The only way you're going to be able to do it is through credit, because everything is debt anyways. That's another subject for another day. But you just got to work on becoming financially literate, financially educated, and then starting to learn the basics and fundamentals of credit, what credit is, how it works, why it works the way it works. And then you got to begin to play the game by the rules of credit. That's what it is. So We went over 15 USC 1681B, permissible purpose, and then 15 USC 6801, confidentiality and privacy of your non-public personal information. So now I want to just go further, right? And we know that 1681 is like the law of laws, like, in the universal laws, the law of sowing and reaping is the law of laws, or the law of correspondence is the law of laws. So 1681 is kind of like those as it relates to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And so let's look at 1681 S2, where it talks about furnishers of information. They have a duty, they have a high responsibility because they assume grave responsibility in reporting information, right? Also, if you didn't know, they're making hundreds of billions of dollars off selling your information. So this is why they should have a vested interest in protecting your information in the first place. So basically, it's saying that they have a moral obligation, they have a responsibility, they have accountability, they have ownership to report accurate and complete information. Why? Because Fair Credit Reporting Act swings from these three things: fairness in reporting, accuracy in reporting, and completeness in reporting. So these furnishers, like financial institutions, anyone that's extending credit, right, is not supposed to report information that they know is not true, or that they have reasonable doubt or believe not to be true, right? It's a violation. And there is civil liability according to 1681N, right, for willful noncompliance. If they just furnish anything without going through checks and balances and verifying, validating this information, then they're in violation. And this aids and assists you in getting negative marks, negative items, late payments off of your consumer reports. That's what it's about, right? Then the next thing is I want to go on to 15 USC 6802. This law itself has the potential to take anything off anyone's consumer report. If you get in there and learn it and be able to speak their language, be able to convey this law to them succinctly, clearly, and conspicuously, and then stand your ground, 10 toes down. Doesn't matter if it takes 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds. Don't matter. You got to stay with it until. Here's another thing that I want to tell everyone. You weren't financially literate. You weren't financially educated. You didn't even understand credit for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, beyond. And so 6 months is coming anyway. 9 months is coming anyway. 12 months is coming anyway. The only way that you're going to have a better quality of lifestyle is to get accesses to resources, get accesses to information, get accesses to people who have integrated the information that has gotten results. You're going to need some money. You are your greatest asset, so you must become your biggest investment. That's just the way it works. If you're not willing to invest time, effort, energy, and most importantly, money, finances, to improve your life, to improve you, then, you're just going to stay in the same rock in the boat, right? And that's what it is. Also, too, I just want to give a real example. You're using, floating rate notes, right? What we perceive to be money, right? But it's really a symbol or a representation of money. And you're having problems. So just imagine with credit, why you got yourself in the condition in the first place is because you was just swiping the card. You wasn't feeling the money. You wasn't seeing the money go out, right? That is one of the things about credit cards, charge cards. And so another thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go from being in mindset offset to having a mindset reset and being in mindset onset. So that means that you're going to have a different mindset, because if you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to continue to get what you've always gotten. So the only way that you can get a better life is you're going to have to change you. How do we change you? We change you by changing your thinking. Through changing your thinking, we're going to change your feelings and your emotions, and we're going to change your story, and we're going to change your money story, and you're going to develop the right relationship with money and resources and tools, finances. And you're going to provide a better life for yourself and your household, right? And then family and friends, because it's not about you. You came here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's your season. Study and show yourself approved. Get this information. Integrate this information. Implement this information. Appropriate this information. Demonstrate this information. And manifest what you desire. You can do it just like anybody else did it, right? But you got to get the information. You got to get the information. You got to get the information. So 15 USC 6802, right, is about the disclosures and about you having the option to opt out. Most of the time, they only give you one disclosure, right? Especially like with car dealerships. They're supposed to give you like, I think 13, or it might even be a little more than that, disclosures. But I want to focus on, draw it back into these 3 disclosures, right? And the most important one is the opt-out, right? So basically, part 2 of the disclosures is they're supposed to, clearly and conspicuously convey to you that there is multiple disclosures and that you have the option to opt out. Meaning, if you don't opt out through silence, right? Silence is acquiescence. You automatically opt in. That means they can automatically report your information. Well, you have the option to opt out, and you can say, yes, I want to opt out. That means that your information is not to be reported. Then the third step is they have to then tell you step by step what you have to do to not have your information reported. Because in the first place, it clearly says that transactions and experiences is not a part of the consumer report, but they violate this all day, every day. This is why you got to get this information. You got to get it in you. It's got to become a part of you. You got to study to show yourself approved, study to show yourself approved, study to show yourself approved, so that you can communicate succinctly to these people and let them know that you're not tolerating this, they're violating the law, right, that Congress gave you to protect your consumer rights. And so it's got to come off the report. Every negative item, negative mark, derogatory account has the potential to come off your report. You got to get this information, or you got to partner with somebody that knows this information that can represent you to get it removed. I, from the heart space, prefer you to learn this your own self, and you begin to write your own letters, begin to take imperfect action, right? Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just go all in and just start writing the letters. Give them 30 days to respond. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow through until you get the results that you want, right? So get in the book, learn the laws. You can legally and lawfully dispute or challenge any inaccuracy or anything on your report. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't prove it, right, with account level documentation, remember, I think it was, I forgot which case it was, but it was against TransUnion. The burden of proof falls on the Consumer Reporting Agency and the furnisher. It doesn't fall on you. You just dispute it, and then they got to prove it, right? It's not about what you know, what you think, what you say. It's about what you can prove. 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 If they cannot prove it, it's got to be removed. It's got to be deleted. That's the way it is. That's the way the law works. So I think I covered a lot. I think that's it for this video. So just in a real quick recap summary, you got to change your mindset, right? You got to build a harmonious, congruent relationship with money or credit. It's the same. One is just in your hand, and then one is you can't see it going out, so you can kind of get carried away. But you're going to have to take ownership. You got to become financially responsible. You got to become financially accountable. Otherwise, you'll be right back in the same disposition, rocking that same boat. But this is why we want to get you educated. We want you to become financially literate. We want you to become financially educated, and at least understand the basics and fundamentals of credit. And just know this, anybody can get this, even a 12-year-old The most important thing you can do, man, is pay your bills before they're due, or at least pay them when they are due, right? Set up automatic payments, have a paper trail, pay by money order or pay by check, some kind of way that you can document it. That's what it is. So we've been live on Credit M Magic 36. Until the next time, peace.